and I have to drink coffee out of this mug every day, or else it like throws off my whole day. So this is hot. I need ice. Oh my God. I do it every time. I'm like, oh, it looks hot. Probably is hot. Have to taste it. Definitely hot. Just, you can see. Okay, hello and good morning. Usually you don't get ready with me in the mornings, but I have to do a lot today, and I kind of wanted to explain to you guys what was going on. So first and foremost, we have to get my son to school, which is a feat in itself. Then we have to find the papers that my daughter needs to go to a second preschool, which I'll tell you guys about that in a minute. And then I need to take my daughter to her optometrist appointment. I'm sorry, ophthalmologist appointment. If you guys don't know, I do have a second channel. I could put that, I made like a podcast, but if you want me to sit down and go in depth on what happened with my daughter, I'd be happy to. But basically, she woke up one morning and her eyes were on the opposite ends of her face. And then we were in a children's hospital for 7 days, and they diagnosed her with post-viral cranial third nerve palsy. And then they didn't give us any insight on when she would be better, and now she's basically better, except one of her pupils is much larger than the other pupil, which means that the pupil fibers are not healing the way that they need to. So that's what we're going to check today. It was my understanding that when we went into the doctor today, they would tell us if she needs glasses moving forward. So that's what our day looks like. Then we have been on a waiting list for a second preschool. Well, it's a preschool within the district, and there happened to be an opening, and we got in. So now I have to bring all the papers over there, but I couldn't bring the papers over there because we've been down with COVID for 2 weeks. So everything is just kind of frantic around here. Anyways, every morning we take all our vitamins. That's why I'm stuffing my face with gummies. They're so good, I love them. The other day, what day was the other day? The other day was Saturday. I went to go get glasses because A, the dog chewed mine, and B, I need a new prescription. I can tell that my prescription is changing. So I went to go get glasses, and I went in on a mission, and I'm like, I'm gonna get different glasses. It's okay if they're black, I always get black glasses. But I'm like, maybe they'll be bigger, or maybe they'll have a thing of color on them or something. And I went with a pair of clear, round glasses. I was feeling myself, and I can't wait to get them. They're just so, I'm doing a lot of things that are out of my comfort zone, and it feels really good. It feels really, really good. Like, I'm trying to incorporate a lot more color into my wardrobe. I'm trying to wear shoes that aren't gym shoes. I'm just trying to do things that I wouldn't do before. So let me tell you about a stint in my early 20s, right? So in my early 20s, after I had moved out of my mom's house, you know, I had spent so much time doing everything that I was supposed to do, right? Like, I had to go to school, and I had to get a job, and I had to do all these things, and I had to live a certain way. And then I got out of my mom's house, and I had my own career and my own money and my own car and my own apartment and all of these things, and I still found myself saying no a lot. So I made a deal with myself for a year that I would say yes to almost anything, within reason, right? It needed to be safe, but I went through this period where I would just say yes. People wanted to go out, and they wanted to go on an adventure, or they wanted to go, a girl at work was like, hey, you want to go to Vegas tonight? And I was like, yes, I do. If I had the means and I had the power, I went. And somehow between then and now, I've lost that. And I've gotten back to a place where I say no to everything. So I kind of want to get back to that. Like, I say yes and just try new things, which is so funny because usually I'm so adventurous, and we're talking minimal. We're talking clothes and shoes and whatever. And usually I'm like, nah, I don't like it. I don't like the way it looks. I don't care. We're trying new things, okay? That's what the mission is right now. Trying things that are out of our comfort zone. With a little bit of confidence too. I wore some boots and I was like, I don't think I like them. I got so many compliments on them. And I was like, you know what? If I just wore them and was like, yeah, these are my boots, nobody would give a shit. Nobody would care. Nobody cares. Because nobody cares about you because they all care about themselves. Anyways, thanks for coming to my rant, but I just kind of wanted to set up this morning thing, and especially with the ophthalmologist, because these days always fill me with anxiety. There was a point in the beginning of our journey with my daughter that we were getting really bad news, and then we were getting good news, and then it just kind of goes back and forth. So I never really know how these doctor appointments are gonna go, and my chest starts to tighten. I don't like it. It makes me nervous. And I think it makes me nervous because this is yet another thing in my life, my daughter's, I would say condition now, but where the rug has been pulled out from me and I did not see any of it coming, right? Like, usually I'm okay in an emergency situation, but like there's been a couple of things in my life where the rug has just been like way pulled out. And I'm like, I don't know how to recover from those things sometimes. And I feel like that's where I stand right now. So it's almost like I try to prepare, but I can't prepare, but I don't get my hopes up. I would rather set the bar low and have the, expectations exceed have the results exceed my expectations. Is that I don't know, sayings. Anyways, but I would rather have that happen than go in there and with really high expectations and have my bubble burst. So it is 8 o'clock in the morning. I have to get my son to school, and I will update you guys after the doctor's appointment. Wish us luck. So it is in fact the next day. I did not get a chance to come back and update you guys with the vlog. It is the next morning. A lot of exciting things have happened. We went to my daughter's ophthalmology appointment yesterday. So we've been going through this since May 22nd of 2023. So she has had ophthalmology. It was going like pretty much bi-weekly, then monthly, then 2 months, then 3 months. And so we went today. So her eye needed to come back. I'll insert a picture. I will never post my kids' faces on social media, so I'll just post a picture of her eyes. But when we woke up one morning, the eye was completely off to the side. The lid was down. The pupil was fully dilated. Like, the eye looked completely dead. Then 2 days later, the eye had completely closed and there was absolutely no function to that eye. So we have been patching her every day for almost a year. And what we do is I fashioned her a little pair of glasses that blocks off her good eye so that she can really work on her, what we call her special eye. So she now has full function of the eyelid. She has full function of the eye. The constriction of the pupil is coming back, but it's not all the way. So if you look at my daughter in her eyes, you can tell that one pupil is bigger than the other pupil. So that is the one thing that we're worried about, is how the nerve has been affected. The doctor said that she's operating at 98% to 99%, which is great. Will that ever change to 100%? We don't know, but her vision is wonderful. Her function is wonderful. So the update at this appointment was she does not have to have patching anymore, which is great because that's been kind of an argument to get her to wear her patches all the time. She doesn't have to have her patching, and he'll see her again in 4 months, and he wants to see what her body does without the help of the patching. So if her eye regresses in any way, then we have to go back to the patching. But if her eye stays the same or makes any improvement, then he'll see us in a year and we're pretty much done with this whole thing. And you know, they say everything happens for a reason. What was the reason? So that was yesterday. Then my daughter got accepted into the district's preschool that we have here, and we went to go take her tour, and that was the preschool that my son went for early childhood because my son is on the spectrum. So where we're at, early childhood children get into preschool at 3 if they need extra services or extra help. So it was so sweet. We went to the preschool yesterday to give my daughter a tour, and then my son got to see his whole team again, and I was crying because I was an emotional mess. Like, these women saw me, this team saw me at my worst. I was just finding out for the first time that my son was on the spectrum. I didn't know what autistic meant at the time. You know, I was trying to navigate my son being diagnosed with autism, having postpartum depression, going through a pandemic, you know, and having a baby in lockdown. It was a time, okay? And my brain. So these women saw me at my worst, and I was just an emotional wreck all the time. And my son in preschool, like, wasn't doing anything. He couldn't go into the blended classrooms. He was not talking at all. He was not engaging with other people. You know, and we've learned that my son is just on his own timeline, and that he's going to make the progress when he makes the progress, and that's fine. We are happy with that. He has proven to us time and time again that he will only move forward, and that's all we can ask him to do. And, you know, he's just on his own little moose timeline, and that's perfectly fine for us. And it's funny because some of the things he's ahead and some of the things he's behind, and sometimes we just meet in the middle, and every day is different. But he continues to surprise us, and he continues to impress us, and it's really an interesting, neat journey to be on, to see him and just see his growth. But anyways, okay, so we go back into the school. We're doing the tour for my daughter, and my son's team, the whole team, the speech therapist, the occupational therapist, his teacher, his new occupational therapist at his new school just happened to all be there. And we walk in the room, and he waves and he goes, "Hi, everybody." And they were like, oh my God. Like, and his speech therapist was like, "Look at him waving, like, look at him." And I was like, "Hey, say hi, Mrs. So-and-so." And he was like, "Hi, Mrs. So-and-so." And they were like, oh my God. And then they remember my daughter because when we were doing e-learning during the pandemic, I was trying to e-learn with my son, and my daughter was sitting in a high chair next to him playing with Play-Doh and like screaming the whole time. And it was a real full circle moment. And I was just so happy to walk in there with my son, and I was so proud. And I was like, look what he's doing. He's doing all these amazing things. And, you know, it's because of them. You know, it's because of these people who are therapists and these people who are in the special ed system who have really helped my son and helped us as parents, like given us the tools at home to just help him thrive. So, you know, 2 years later when he can go back to the school, it's like, look at what we've done together. It was amazing. It made my heart so full. So anyways, that happened. My daughter decided that she wanted to start the preschool today. They gave her the option of going today or next week because they have parent-teacher conferences. So she decided that she was going to go today. And this morning, it is now 9 a.m. Do you hear that? Not a damn thing. That's right. Nothing. I am not turning on anything in this house. So I am finishing my vlog. I have a lot of stuff that I'm doing on the side for content creation. I have decided this year, and now that my daughter's back in school, or that my daughter's in basically full-time school, I am going to give content creation the good old college try. I ran a successful business for 10 years, and then I decided to be a stay-at-home mom. And now that my kids are back, or that my kids not back in school, but that my kids are in school, it's really given me the time to decide what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do YouTube. I have an Amazon influencer account and all the other social medias. Content creation has been something that I've been very passionate about from start to finish. It's not just about being in front of the camera for me. It's about coming up with concepts. It's about filming them. It's about the editing process, the color correction, the transitions, the little things that you see up here when it's like, bing, bacon bears, like all of that, just the creativity side of it just warms my little heart. So this morning, what we have to do is, today's an Amazon day. So today is, today is Tuesday, but I'm making up for Monday. So I'm going to batch film all of my Amazon stuff. And then I've decided, I've started using Notion, which, if you haven't used that, I love it. I need someone to tell me what to do, okay? I am a child. So
At nighttime, I have Project Manager Bacon Bears who goes in and types out the list of things that regular Bacon Bears needs to do during the day. My husband's like, you're kind of tied to that name, huh, Bacon Bears? And it's like, listen, that's the name that blew up on TikTok and it's fine. The reason that I don't use my real name is because I would prefer some anonymity, not only for me, but for my children. I choose to be online and I choose to do content creation. They do not. So I want to give them as much privacy as possible because they deserve that and I respect them and their lives. So that's why Bacon Bears I know seems a little silly, but it's just kind of who I am now. And yeah, so that's what we're doing for today. I'm going to enjoy the silence. I have about an hour and 40 minutes before I have to go pick up my daughter. And it's amazing what one can get done in that amount of time.